I muted myself. Hello and welcome, everyone, to our new campaign for the next little bit, Innistrad, Fang, and Shadow. I am Lindy, and as you can see, most of us don't have character names yet because this is a session 0. And so you recognize probably most of these faces from our regular Monday nights for the past, I don't know, 4 years or something. It's been a long time, but we do have a new face with us here on the channel this evening, one I'm very happy to have because they're wonderful. Pope, world build. Pope, how are you tonight?
Doing quite well, ready to get down to a lot of the building and collaboration, which is what makes all this work. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build. Where Pope World Build on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams, and tonight we're going to get ready for some advanced lurking as we dive into building out what this campaign will be, what Innistrad, Fang, and Shadow promises. And a lot of that is doing collaboration. So let's meet with our collaborators and just see through all of your familiar faces. And I always like to do a little bit of an icebreaker, especially with a brand new campaign. So on top of your name and where we can find you, what's your favorite horror movie? And let's start with Nugget. How are you doing?
This is gonna be
Of
great
course.
because I know Nugget.
Oh yeah, I don't like scary movies. I don't watch them
Is it
very
Attack of the
often.
Killer's Sofa? Is that your favorite?
It might be. So I like really shitty, like C level, movies, like sci-fi horror movies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's one. So I have two that are kind of tied. There's one, I think they're both on Amazon, but one's called Killer Sofa, where a spirit inhabits a sofa and murders people. And then there's also Zombievers. It's zombie beavers, and they're not really scary. They're more, funny, but I like them because I don't like scary movies.
That's fair. They're not necessarily for everyone. So let us move down, I say, to our friend Deception Check. How are you doing?
Oh, great. Hi. No, I'm doing great. I'm Deception Check. You find me here on Mondays and Tuesdays and occasionally Saturdays. That's me. As horror movies go, I've never really been that big of a fan of them, to be completely honest. I've watched some growing up. Like I'm a kid of the '80s, so you had the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Mm-hmm.
Those got I watched those because those were so ridiculous that they didn't come at me like a horror movie. Not like the original Friday the 13th or whatnot, Texas Chainsaw Massacres and whatnot. But Nightmare on Elm Street, if I had to pick one, but I don't really watch them that often anymore. And the ones today, like Saw and those things, are just shock crap to me. I'm not judging anyone. I don't think that much blood is necessary and torture. I don't need that. I don't. Just scare me, make me jump out of my seat, and I'm good. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Good to know. Interesting trend here. Let's see if the trend continues with Shiny Pilot.
Okay, yeah. So do I need to introduce myself or just
Please do.
Okay. Shiny Pilot 206. That's easy. um Sorry, I'm not used to this type of stuff. So for me, just going straight into it for horror films, my favorite is sci-fi horror and zombie horror. But the sci-fi horror that immediately jumped into my brain was John Carpenter's The Thing. The Thing was one of my favorite movies and still is, and I wish more people would watch it. If you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. So I like that stuff because that suspense, the buildup, and the unknown really tugs at you, and I love it. So that's my favorite.
Delightful. Tom Savini, practical effects, fantastic. Someone who at least has the reputation for a bit of the absurd. would be a D20 coup de grace. How are you doing? And what is your favorite horror film?
I am doing quite good. Yes, I'm D20 coup de grace. Shoot. Um, I wanted to say Alien, but I mean, it's so obvious. But then I thought I'm going to go with Event Horizon.
Oh,
Yes. I like Event Horizon. Yes.
okay.
Forgot about that one. Good choice.
Yeah.
Oh. Watching Sam Neill just completely chew every bit of scenery that there is a delightful time for all. And Lindy, what is your
Hi.
favorite scary movie?
I don't like. I cannot watch scary movies, TV shows, or video games. I can't handle it. I get nightmares. It's awful. I have accidentally watched 2, maybe 3 horror movies in my entire life. And when I say accidentally, I mean like roommates were watching them and I had no escape. And it was awful. It was so bad. But I do like gothic horror type things a lot. I've watched a lot of vampire movies.
Okay.
Now I know people don't consider Castlevania horror, but I love the Castlevania
action
TV
horror.
show. Yeah, well, I'm like, cause gore doesn't bother me. Blood all day, whatever. Vampires, Dracula. It's great. So I'll go with the Castlevania show on Netflix.
Okay.
And I mostly enjoyed the one Blade movie I watched at one point in time with Dracula. Yeah.
Again, it's very telling. I'm surprised at the lot of you. Not a single mention of the Lost Boys. Tut tut.
I've not seen it yet. Because I hear horror and I go, no!
No. Young Kiefer Sutherland, also known as An Awakening for many. And I'm also surprised, for the love of vampires, not a mention of The Hunger. I mean, it's got David Bowie in it. Come on.
I'm sorry. How have I not heard of this? Because I love vampires and David Bowie almost equally.
It's going on the watch list. I'm doing it right now.
So
now. Yes.
David Bowie, Susan Sarandon.
I've seen a lot of vampire movies and TV shows because I'll just be on media and I'll see the word vampire and I go, ooh, and I watch it. And then Shiny Pilot goes, ugh, we're not watching that together. And I go, that's fine.
I just never considered Lost Boys horror.
It is. By all technicality, it is a horror film.
Okay.
And no, it is in the genre, the broad strokes. But to inform you as to what informs me when it comes to the genre, I am a large fan of a particular film, so much so that I have a model of a little box, black and gold. First 2 films are the only ones you need to see, and that's Hellraiser. Other things that will inform our story, Candyman, as well as a little bit of Crimson Peak, and a suggestion, if you want to do a bit of homework as to my sense of humor, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So that is all things that are our definitive influence, along with a little bit of a detour to things like Hellboy. And I have a deep and abiding love of using Fae. And Innistrad has plenty of them. So, with that, let's get into the thick of it with a number of questions. The first thing that I want to do, because it will help set the table for so much, is time period. Innistrad as a setting has existed for a while now. Thank you to the folks over at Wizards of the Coast. It is possibly the the setting and block that defined a changing of the guard over at Wizards, and how everything that came after that has been more influenced by pop culture than ever previous. And it's a setting that we keep going back to. And so there's a lot of history. So I will give you quick summaries of what we can pursue, and that will definitely help flavor our tale. So there is the time before. Not before vampires, because that wouldn't be fun. But there is the time before. This is before we had our first planeswalkers come and visit Innistrad and set off a series of unfortunate events. This is completely viable. It means Sorin, long gone, known planeswalkers, and we can even go back far enough to where Avacyn hasn't got stuck yet. So that is one era we can play in. Then we can move forward to the time when, yes, Avacyn got stuck in the Hell Vault, along with big bad booty demon, and a bunch of planeswalkers showed up for all sorts of reasons and just kicked off again a series of unfortunate events. After riots, breaking open the Hell Vault, Avacyn coming out, demon popping out, lots of demon worship, riots, etc. Also the machinations of some transplanter entities. The next thing we get into is what I like to refer to as the Shadows period. And this is where you get to play a mystery. Things are going awry. There are elements of body horror, eldritch horror, and it is a very, very moody section. Then we could go forward from that and go to the Eldritch Moon era, in which case, I'm sorry, you got Call of Cthulhu in my Magic and my D&D. So you can just go full on Eldritch horror. Things have gone completely wrong. Chaos, mayhem, dogs and cats merged together, lots of screaming. We can do that. We can also move past that and go into what I like to refer to as the recovery era, where the Church of Avacyn is having to find themselves again. A number of the vampiric families are consolidating power, and humanity is trying to rebuild after all of that nonsense happened. This is also a time where we see werewolves sort of become a bit more active, and ancestor worship, fae worship. All of this is happening. And then we have one more step, which is after that. We can always go forward. So after a time of more planeswalkers causing too many goddamn problems, we can move past that. So the unpleasantness of Olivia's marriage, done and gone. The unpleasantness of trying to essentially turn the plane's light switch always to off, that's over. And we are in a separate era. So with those options, I'd like to go around same order and go what most appeals to you. And then we sort of pull those together, collaborate, and finally pin down our era. So with that, Nugget, what is most appealing to you?
Man, I hate going first. So Emrakul is like my favorite thing in Magic ever. So I would love to do something in that era, but I also really like the sound of like the rebuilding and the political kind of stuff going on there,
Okay.
and what werewolves are getting a little more powerful and things like that. Um, uh, and then I'm always down for crazy shit. So planeswalkers, chaos. I'm here for that as well. So those would be my three.
Okay. Okay. So, DC, what is appealing to you?
Right off the bat, I went with the after period, not the after, but the after. The Eldritch Horror. That part kind of jumped out at me. You said mystery in the shadow period.
Yes.
That really caught like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. That sounds like it might be fun. And then number 3, I wrote down before Nugget even said anything. I kind of like the recovery period too, the consolidation era. That sounded neat. So yeah, that's that whole middle period somewhere in there. I kind of like that.
Pilot, what sounds appealing to you?
Leaning towards, because I have a soft spot for it. Lindy knows it, werewolves. Well, she started giggling. I like werewolves. Also one of my favorite horror topics. Not
That's
to say
our
that
biggest argument in life. Werewolves, no vampires, no werewolves.
Yeah, that's our biggest thing between us. But
and no mention of ginger snaps. I'm judging all of you.
We have to expand our library. We're going to work on this through you.
I grew up extraordinarily sheltered and had to catch up.
Okay. Ginger snaps, lesbian werewolves, coming of age story.
Nice.
It's beautiful and violent.
But anyways, that part, or I also am a sucker for Eldritch horrors type stuff. I always like that type of stuff too. So I'm cool, kind of pretty much with what everybody else has said. I like it.
Excellent. D20. What appeals to you?
I feel a little ill-informed about the setting because I really do not know that much about the magic story. But what appealed to me first was the first era, and then the Reconstruction. So, yeah, I'm with that.
All right. And Lindy.
So I'm kind of with D20 there. I'm all for like the initial like vampireness before things go crazy, but the rebuilding and the mystery also sounded really interesting because I have done a lot of Eldritch horror in my time. And I'm plotting an Eldritch horror campaign soon, so that's my thoughts.
So if you would like a break from the squiggly appendage, we can definitely do a break.
I just don't want full Emrakul. Hints of squiggly appendages are always welcome. Always. Light squiggly appendages. Tentacles are fun.
Okay, so you don't want me to just go full John Carpenter and merge an entire township into one screaming entity.
Probably not. Yeah. I mean, if you do, that's fine too. I'm real easygoing. But those are the 3 that appealed to me the most.
Walk the corner, see that immediately. Nope. Turn back around.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we're looking at the Reconstruction period. Is what seems to be more of the consensus. So after we dealt with the entire town becoming one singular screaming entity. Okay, so that tells me what is in living memory.
Mm-hmm.
And that very much shapes our world. So if we're doing Reconstruction, we have just come out of a grand upheaval and unpleasantness as the church kind of went a little haywire, and due to eldritch influence, so did the angels that were patrons of said church. And there was a grand inquisition. There was a lot of cults. There was burning. There was and a lot of people just emerging with noodly appendages or insectile bits. There was a great cleansing. And through machinations of others and maybe herself, We do know that the giant spaghetti monster uses she/her pronouns. Got herself placed and locked in this plane's moon. And somehow that made most of the screaming, the squiggly appendages, and the merging go away. But Avacyn is dead. The patron angel of the entire plane was viciously unmade by her maker. And a number of other angels became one angel, and that was bad, and they're dead. So now there is one choir of angels. That's it. Headed by Sigarda, the host of herons. Yes, the gryphs in this setting I absolutely adore. Think of a heron, but also a hippogriff.
Ooh.
And those are noble steeds of the local knights, at least the ones that survived. And so we're going into this period where the church is trying to redefine itself. There are those that believe that Avacyn will come again. There are those that are kind of, guys, we saw all that happened. We're worshiping Sigarda now. Or we're not worshiping, we're just trying to survive now. There were many werewolf clans. There are 6 now. There's been a lot of consolidation. Some people are going back to some older faiths as they participate in nature, ancestor worship, and worship of Fae entities. Some go to even older ways, which involves worshiping lots of dark things, demons, infernals of the like. But people are trying to move forward. There's a lot of rebuilding going on. Also, the vampires had a real bad time, as many of their numbers were culled, either by madness, infighting, or just random horror. So everyone is in this period of consolidation, recovery, and rebuild. And so it sounds like this is where we will set our tale. Now, before we get into nittier, grittier stuff, there is a few more broad things that we must address. Themes. This is stuff that you want to see in the game. Having a little bit of the idea of this group here. Comedy will happen. You don't have to press for it.
No, it's inevitable.
Yes. We will refer to comedy now on as Thanos. It is inevitable. But with knowing that comedy will happen, there is a degree of how straight do you want me to play all of this? Do you want me to elicit the silly? Be a chaos gremlin? Or do you want me to be more of a straight man? Where I let you guys cut loose. Do you want me to sort of play for keeps? I can dial the danger level all the way to Elden Ring if you want. I can also dial it way down. This is the time where you discuss sort of the things that you want to see and how you want to elicit play. There are already themes. We already know comedy will happen. Gothic horror is going to happen. And it's me. Fae nonsense and politics will happen. These are
Love me
4
some
things
politics.
that will be established. But with that, what are things that you want to see? And now we're going to go in reverse order so we give Nugget a break. So, Lindy.
Would you believe me if I said that I GM all of my games as the straight man and shit just happens?
I was there for goats. I don't believe it.
I was very serious about those goats, okay? 100% serious. I'm just
Ziggy and Duke, I beg to differ.
I'm just not above the absurd. You can be serious and absurd at the same time. It's totally fine. But also, goats don't exist in any of my games anymore because of that. That was all chat, and I was like, nope, goats are extinct.
Some of the best things I've ever heard is about those goats.
No.
Nah.
I like games. I don't really have a super preference towards anything in particular. I know that silly will happen or comedy will happen. I want whatever you're comfortable with our
Okay.
levels of silly, because
Let me ask this when it comes to difficulty. Because I can dial things to, let's all be big damn heroes. I can dial it to Greg levels of, I hope you are prepared, to Don levels of, I'm actively trying to kill you all.
maybe not quite Dawn levels, because we are survivors of the said Eldritch Calamity. So somewhere between level 1 and level Greg would be
Okay. So for you, Greg is my threshold. Okay,
yeah,
I've got
let's
touchstone.
say that, yeah.
Okay.
I've played with Dawn and Greg, and I was like, oh no, every week. with
Yeah,
Dawn.
there's at least 2 notches between the 2 of them, so I know
you
where to
can't
dial.
enter Dawn level without signing a waiver. Yeah.
Yes, Jim, that is true.
Fair. Yeah.
This establishment will require a waiver.
Yeah. I'm good with pretty much anything in between,
Okay.
let's be big damn heroes and in Greg mode. 'Cause all of that is super fun.
All right. D20. What sort of things that you would like to see?
Well, things I would like to see.
Oh, I forgot that. Vampires. That's me.
Vampires.
Okay.
Okay. Things I would like to see.
Bats.
Okay. Yes, vampires and bats. Thank you. Those are mine. I'm with Lindy. I just like gaming.
Okay.
I know. Okay, you're looking for help. Okay, I need to help you.
Well, no. The thing is, if you say nothing, that's just consenting to my default modes, and you don't know that.
Well, okay. Well, all right. I want you to DM the way you want to DM, but I'm looking at the scale. Hey, every encounter I'm trying to kill the party would be 100, and we don't even have combat counters. I'm looking at 50%.
Okay. I can do mix.
Yeah.
To give probably you all, as well as you watchers at home, a bit of my resume. While I cut my teeth on D&D, where my formative years of coming into this current GM style were spent too long in Exalted, first edition. Yes. This was before the age of safety tools. I'm glad we have safety tools.
Yeah, I've
also,
the first edition modules. Whew.
World of Darkness. Both editions. Both styles. I have played all of it. To heed a warning, ye who enter here. I ran a 4-year-long LARP, cross-venue, Chronicles of Darkness. Changeling the Lost is my specialty. I like to hurt people.
Well, let's dial it back to a 40%.
Good to know. Also, if you want to give me knives, I will use them.
Okay.
I will happily
Nugget loves
use them.
knives.
I am here to give you the good pain. And so that is my resume to help you better understand. And like Prax, if you give me the knife block, I will use every one. So going to pilot, what would you like to see?
I'm somewhere in the mid-range to middle upper range. I played a game with Dawn that probably, I don't know if it was his strongest.
That was not his typical, no.
Okay, well
that was Don Light.
I like Dawn Light / Greg.
Which would basically be Greg, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
so I like that. I like a little bit of stress and challenge at times, especially as necessary. I like to have the story going, but also like to have fun and be silly. I like both worlds, so dipping the toe in both waters would be cool with me. If you can do that, if you don't have to stick with one default mode, so whatever you're feeling for the story or for the mood would be great.
Okay. Again, because comedy happens, it's just nature. People want a release valve. I tend to lean towards the opposite of that, especially with this group, because the release valve is this giant red button that we're all pressing. So I will lean more towards probably the darker side of things.
That's fine with me.
And I will, by the sounds so far, go into, you will get resources. I will make you try and spend all of them. DC, what would you like to see?
I fit in with pretty much this entire group. I play with some DMs that try and kill you every single time they have a chance in their combats, and I play with these groups, which sometimes combat is the last thing we're thinking about. We're just trying to get through it to get to the role play afterwards. So I would say on your trip scale of superhero to oh my god, 100, I'd probably go 50, 60 would be fine.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range would be fine for this, I think.
And Nugget.
Yeah, Lindy and Deception Check will tell you I love the angst. Like, I am all for make me cry in the middle of a session.
Okay.
Sending messages to you constantly. Make it worse. Make it worse.
But it feels
She
so
feels
good.
bad. I don't. So yes. Okay, we're
I
here.
just feel bad because I'm the only GM you've had that's repeatedly killed you.
Listen, it's been like
I
you've
got
killed
to kill
me
one
so
of her
many
characters.
times. That's
I got
true.
to kill one.
Yeah, but
I mean, I made you
it.
guys kill her, but I mean,
Yeah,
I still got to
that's
kill
true.
her.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I will be that player that will give you the knives and beg you to use them.
Okay.
I like feeling the stakes. So like when we get in combat, I want to feel like I'm in danger, but not that I'm going to die every single combat, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at.
So, all right. I think I've got an idea of where to dial it in. So, what I'm envisioning before I codify my notes is there will be occasions of sort of like group combats where things will be a bit more in y'all's favor. Because I find if I have as many actions as you, it should tend to side on your side. And then there are what I like to refer to as featured combats, in which case I am going to try and actively kill you all. There are going to be monsters with multiple phases, because I am a child of the 90s. And there are going to be things that are going to be tailored rules. I'm using all the tools that D&D gave me, and I add some extra. As for those that saw Pugmire this Sunday, they fought a giant rat. At first, it was just a giant rat, and then the rat's blood started steaming, and then it would catch them on fire. And then they blew up the rat, and then they were fighting a giant rat skeleton. And so with that party, I downed 3 of them. They survived. But that's sort of the style I'm hearing, where there will be occasions of this style of combat usage of layer actions, legendary actions, putting you guys against the wall. And then there will be other occasions where it's, yeah, there's a bunch of soldiers and you're a bunch of badasses. Have at. So we'll go with that. Welcome, Raiders. Hi, Hawkeye. Good to see you. So with that being said, we come to our first of more character style questions. This is a mechanics question. I have run for every single power level. Part of the reason I did that 4-year LARP was because no one had the guts to run at power level 8. I said, cowards, I'll do it. And that's why it took 4 years, because they need to know who these characters were before they had godlike power. Since we're going to try and do this in 10 to 13 episodes, I'm fine with godlike power. What power level do you want to start at, and what do you want to achieve? We'll go around again over to Lindy.
I think that a lot of the classes in D&D start to get really fun around, like, they start to get fun at, like, level, like, 6, 7, but they start to get really fun around level, like, 10, 11.
Okay.
So, like, because then you get, like, you don't have 7th level spells yet, but you've got, like, some 5th, maybe 6th level. You can do some very creative things. And you've got a lot of your class features. I mean, not all of them, but you have most of, like, the good fun ones by that point, since it's not going to be, like, a super duper long campaign. I think starting on, like, somewhere between level 10 and 13 would be great.
Okay. D20, where are you feeling?
I normally like to start a character little sooner than that. 5 is my general start. I would say my general start location, but I can do definitely better or higher.
Okay.
And I mean, I'd be okay with leveling up every episode or whatever, you know. That's so kind of the way
quick leveling is on your table. All right.
Yeah.
Pilot, what are you feeling?
Based on my time playing with pretty much mostly these guys here, I'm used to more of the slow burn and the build up. I kind of like being at the lower levels as we discover our abilities and then ramping it up and feeling that progression and feeling like we achieve something. Doesn't mean I'm against starting out at a higher level. Mid-level's fine, like around 5-ish. I can go as high as 10, but I wouldn't want any lower than, I guess, probably 3. I'm still learning a lot of the comfort level for the different classes that we go into. So some are more comfortable than others, especially at different levels. So I'll roll with you guys on that.
All right. DC, what you feeling?
I can see where everyone else is coming from. I feel like so many campaigns end right when the characters start getting interesting, and that, you know, with Curse of Strahd, 10, you get 11 when you kill Strahd. Why give me a level? I'm done with the game. I don't understand why I'm getting that. We've just beat the boss. You know, most campaigns, I forgot the newest Netherdeep module from Wizards goes to 13. So like the last little bit, you start getting to play with some of the fun stuff. I would be perfectly happy jumping in at a higher level. 5 would probably be where I would like to start as a lowest range, but you know, like Lindy said, you know, around 10 is when things get really interesting, and you start having to, especially if you're not getting a lot of rests in between for some classes, on that second, third, and fourth combat, if you didn't know they were coming, you have to start really prioritizing, how do I still stay effective while minimizing the taxation on my abilities? And it becomes really interesting. I'm having an event with that now in a Saturday campaign I'm in, where we're doing 4 solid hard combats in a row with no rest. And it's becoming really fun to micromanage that power level of your character. So I think that might make it interesting, but I'm good all the way across the board. I've done pretty much any start.
Okay. Nugget, where are you feeling?
I think I would have to agree with Lindy and Deception Check just because I have never played a high level character because like Deception Check was saying is you get to like 10, 11, maybe 12 and then the campaign ends. So I think it would be really cool to start like maybe start at 5 and like, creep up from there. But I would like to try higher level stuff. That would be me.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking starting you guys off at level 7. And then every significant combat that occurs, you gain a level. Or every very specific heavy duty milestone, gain a level.
Cool.
So we could double level in a session. That is entirely possible. There are also times where we may not level at all in a session. But starting out at 7, where you're just on the threshold of getting, depending on how you're doing, if you're doing a straight build, 8, hey there, folks. That's where a lot of cool stuff comes up. Also, with multi-class builds, that gives you some flexibility. Or if you want to go completely mad, you can have 3 classes. So there's options there. Now with that, let's get into a bit more about what y'all are feeling character-wise. That way we can see what sort of party we're looking at. And Lindy, I know we have discussed, we have talked.
We talk.
So what are you thinking?
I want to be a Dampier
Mm-hmm.
Swarm Keeper Ranger so that I can have bat swarms and just be thematic as fuck.
Okay.
And to have such joy. I'll be like this all the time because bats. And vampire and half vampire. That's me. And I was thinking, looking at the I watched some YouTube videos this week while working on overlays and things. Maybe of the open to other familial bloodlines, but I do like the Stormkirk one. I think that one's pretty fun. I like that they're very community based and like, no, we have to protect the humans. Our poor little sheep.
Okay. D20. What chaos are you trying to unravel here?
All right. Well, I knew it would be juxtaposed to the setting. I wanted to play a cheerleader bard.
I'm listening.
Yes. I was thinking Oliver the Optimist.
How attached are you to Oliver, and how quickly can I murder him?
I mean, at least give me 1 or 2 episodes.
That's a fair level of optimism before destruction. I mean, come on.
Like,
I could always choose something different. I kind of wanted to wait to see what the rest of the party was doing. But.
yeah, no, like I am open, but I am just going to, because of the time period, playing somebody who, like, we're coming out of.
Sounds like we need an optimist. I'm sorry, I'm just a chaos.
Well,
I can understand
say.
a desire for optimism, but this is coming out of not a war, but more of a plain wide calamity.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming into a recovery period where anyone who is seen that manic by normal eyes is going to assume that you're still corrupted and try and purge you.
Oh boy!
So I'm not saying no. I'm saying let's see what we hear from the rest of the group. All right.
mean, I am not set in stone at all.
Okay.
It's just this is the idea I came up with today.
Okay. Pilot, any ideas?
So I like trying to play roles, at least classes that I have not played before, to get the maximum flavor of D&D and
Okay.
different systems. I just like doing that. I've played. Let's reverse that. I have not played yet a cleric, a paladin, and believe there was one other I haven't played
There's
yet.
a few you haven't played.
There's
Most of the
a few.
spellcasters.
It's mostly spellcasters. I'm still kind of new to D&D. I've been playing it, but I've been playing our characters for a long time, which would have been, barbarian. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a
Wizard.
blank right now.
Barbarian, wizard, and rogue.
Yep. See, all those
Okay.
things. See, they're even better than that. So
If
I like playing other things. So I'm
And a bit of monk.
flexible is what I'm getting at. I'm a flexible person.
with that, I would like to make a suggestion, if I may. If you have some experience with magic,
A little bit.
we also heard that you like werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I'm listening.
He's trying to play a court now.
Okay. So here is some suggestions.
Okay.
If you want to lean even heavier into werewolf, there's this delightful subclass called Path of the Beast for Barbarian, which you rage and you shift. That is one way to do this.
Ooh.
That is something that can definitely be there. The other thing is, if you want to play a bit more with magic, Warlock is pretty much made for the setting. You can pretty much pick almost any patron. They're here. And you can also still have elements of werewolfism in adapting the shifter race and having that play as someone descended from werewolf.
I like that. But you're now dangling two really mighty fine carrots in front of me, and I don't know which one I want to nibble first to and jump on.
we can move past and come back. That is part of why we do this sort of we go around, and then what we can do is what I like to refer to as popcorn, where we just leap around, discuss things. DC, what are you feeling?
I had originally, when we started thinking about the setting, was thinking about I mentioned it, focusing on an inquisitor type, fighter with whip and hand crossbow, kind of just your prototypical kind of guy with the big pointy hat, but I've moved away from that because I think the setting where we're at right now, I don't know, might, now that we're starting at possibly starting at a higher level, I may have an idea for a hybrid druid ranger. I know that Lindy's thinking a ranger herself, but mine is more.
Mine's gonna be themed straight like I am the half vampire. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, mine is kind of like a pack leader sort of thing. He's a druid that shapeshifts into a wolf, and as a ranger summons his own wolf companion, and it's kind of like he's his own pack kind of thing.
If that's something that
werewolf companion,
if that's something you're interested in, may I suggest a tweak? Because of the setting. If you're looking at druid, druid in the setting has been something that was suppressed, and because everything has gone awry, has just started coming back. They have come out of hiding, as it were, as regions of Gavany and Keswick recover. And so they're putting on more pagan-like festivals. They're starting to try and community build, bring people back into living alongside nature instead of against it. And having that sort of community focus. That's where a lot of the druids are, as opposed to being hermits. All of a sudden, they're going, so I see that you need some recovery help. And they're using this time as an opportunity to try and get in the ground floor as the culture rebuilds.
So are you talking about like almost an evangelical druid?
Almost. They're not pushy, but they definitely have some stories to share.
Oh, that could be just enough chaos that this could be fun. Oh, tap into my old Southern Baptist roots that I don't touch on much more anymore, but that could be a lot of fun. Oh, okay. Yeah, that could, I mean, I'm not set on anything right now, but once we started talking about level, it kind of opened up this character concept I've been trying to pull off. And I just can't have my characters haven't died in any games recently, so I can't re-roll into something new.
I can fix that.
I know you can. I know you can. Yeah, no, I'm not set in stone on this, but that makes it sound like this could be pretty fun. He'd be more, yeah, that'd be a okay.
The members of the human communities that survived and hid away, especially in regions like Kessig, have all of a sudden come out of the forest, come out of the fog into a world that desperately needs people for repopulation and rebuilding. And they've gone, so we are most definitely interested in helping. Also, how do you feel about seasonal festivals and candles and partying? And a little bit of nature worship, just a little bit.
It's not so much worship as it is like just respect for the plants and trees around you. You know, let's not go too just, you know.
You like to celebrate the harvest. And
yeah, maybe don't chop down those trees over there. They mean something. You can have those over there, maybe. Okay. Yeah. No, that I might be able to make that work.
Nugget. Any ideas?
Just
sorry, my husband's going to bed. Sorry.
That's fair.
Yeah, actually, so Innistrad is my favorite Magic the Gathering plane. So I am very excited, and there's a lot of things I want to do, but I think I've narrowed it down to 3.
Okay.
So I would love to play a monk. Preferably, I was thinking the Way of the Long Death, because it kind of makes sense for the plane and kind of a little bit of that vampiric touch with the hit point thing that they do when things die.
Yeah, temporary health levels.
Yeah. I said it earlier, I love Emrakul, so I love the idea of being a warlock of Emrakul.
And we have ideas as to what it is that she wants right now. So if you want that, I would be delighted to play your patron.
Yeah, I really like that idea, but I also don't want to. I'm going to let Shiny Pilot choose first, because I've played Warlocks before and I want him to have that option. So
here's the thing. I have run an all Warlock party.
Fair.
I've been in an all Bard party.
That would be interesting.
An all Warlock party is both joyous and frustrating. Joyous for them, frustrating for me, because I can never fully deprive you all. But it also allows me to be joyous in that none of them share the same patron, so they were always at cross purposes. And there was some strange hijinks and full-on UN-like agreements as to, okay, so here's what we can do. So having multiple of the same class is never a problem, because those characters are often vastly different.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's cool. And then my third one is just, I've never really played a rogue before in any length, and I would love to play just like a classic, street rat kind of rogue that's just kind of stumbled their way into an interesting situation and doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Now, with rogues, because I have run for many of them, the thing with rogue is they are so strange and different in flavor. That is a good thing. However, is figuring out what lane you're choosing so that I can enable you to do the thing that you were built to do.
Okay.
And also, rogues tend to have a lot of social stuff just tied to them. Even your assassin with a tragic backstory oftentimes has a lot of the world hooked into them.
Okay.
And so, if you want to go rogue, I am here to support you. I also need to really know who they are.
Okay.
Because the last thing I want you to have happen is I am playing a thief, a second story marcher, and not have second stories for you to pilfer from.
Right. Okay.
Right. Anyone have those who are still undefined, i.e., not Lindy?
I basically was like, I'm gonna be half vampire. That's it.
So I've already done it twice now, but I think I'm gonna go for a third barbarian. I just love barbarian.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
I love it.
I'm here for it. Yeah, Path of the Beast is a delightful thing. In my first time with it, I essentially made the alien from Aliens using the Simic hybrid, and it was an absolute thrilling experience, especially when you get to higher levels and you creep things out so much that they experience psychic trauma.
Perfect. I don't know if I'll be able to inhibit psychic trauma on people, but goals. I've never done that type of barbarian, so I'd love to do Path of the Beast. I'd like to do that. That'd be cool.
Okay, so we have Path of the Beast. Do you have an idea as to what culture you want to be from? What background, race, heritage?
Not yet. That's
Okay.
something I have to work on and talk with you about.
That again, the plane is primarily human. They even have different cultures of human, and we can plug and play and adjust because we have those tools now. But there are also many other things that exist and that we can make exist, because planeswalkers have caused trouble. That is a justification for many a thing. And so
Planeswalkers.
I will just warn you of playing anything exorbitantly exotic, is that you will get the strange looks. And beware of vampires, because they look at the exotic and go, mine now.
Okay, good to know. I'm going to
So-
start messing around with the races and looking at them then here.
Yeah. No, the vampirism is also accompanied by a level of possessiveness and greed about everything.
Good to know.
It's just how it manifests is very much along familial lines. Also, I mean, if you all want to be Dampier, I can do that too.
Oh, Nugget and I are talking.
Damp your life.
Family?
I am so scared of this
In
right
a
now.
way.
Yeah,
Family?
not quite family.
Sis? Cousin?
Spicier.
Do go on.
Would you like to, or shall
Yeah.
I?
So my first idea was a fallen Asimar monk of the Long Death, and if I'm a girlfriend of a Dampier who sometimes snacks on me, it makes sense that I can sometimes snack on other people because I've had exposure to that, extended exposure to the
'Cause,
vampiric tendencies of
The
a Dampier.
Stormkirks are like, yeah, we'll make like social contracts for a little bit of snacking here and there. So the damp here with the ASMR girlfriend, which also, based on the lore that I read, is very spicy due to how vampires came into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the
As-
Voldarans are going to look at the two of you, and they're going to have thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, that is totally doable.
Sweet. Sweet. Then I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll do
gonna
ASMR
date.
Monk of the Long Death. Yes.
Maybe we
Okay.
can even be betrothed. I don't know. That might be.
Might be too soon. Too soon.
It's fine. There's been a cataclysm. There's property everywhere.
It's true. Love Deception Check just shaking his head as soon as we've been talking. Got
Levels of chaos are increasing as we speak. I mean, we have Michael playing a barbarian again, which is scary in its own right. Oh yes, this is going to be grand.
Look, we're just so in love, okay? You can't take that from us.
Like I'm looking at playing a Labrador Retriever. Okay, I don't know what I could say really against that.
Okay, so it feels established that we have two individuals that are deeply involved with the vampiric politics of this world, whether by heritage or by contract attraction. There is something there. So we definitely have the vampiric politics in play. That is established. We also have a barbarian, most likely from Kessig, because Kessig is overwhelmed with barbarians and vampires. So someone from the mountainous region and the mountainous tribes who calls upon powers of the original moon, not the current one, but it's still there, and still has potency, though you could probably still feel a bit of the new moon's presence if you decide to manifest the tail. Because you can manifest claws, you can manifest a bite, or you can manifest a tail. Tail's not gonna be wolvy. Just warning. So there is that. And we have that established. So it looks like we're being from a number of different places upon this plane. So we have 3. Now we're down to 2.
Well, let's see. My second idea was playing Eddie Edgelord. The only thing sharper is his knives. But you've hinted that a warlock would be fun, and also that art or fae, you like fae. So I was thinking maybe a warlock that worships a fae could be fun.
I have a very important question.
Uh-oh. Yes?
What season is your fae tied to?
Oh, boy. Uh-oh.
I just request that Eddie Edgelord makes an appearance in another game at some point because.
Oh, no. You will find Eddie Edgelord's tombstone sometime during this season.
Next to Oliver the Optimist.
Yes.
They were cousins.
They were cousins. Actually, no. They were roommates.
Oh,
Okay, this is the start of a sitcom. Just saying.
they were roommates. There was only one bed.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'll choose my favorite season,
Okay.
which is winter. I don't like that. Okay.
The Winter Court of the Fae is interesting, but also perfect for Innistrad.
You've given me a gift.
Okay. That's
I
good.
get to play Mab again.
Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I get to play Mab again.
I'm worried now.
Mab has made an appearance in every single one of my Masks game. And she's a hoot. Also, for you Dresden fans out there, I get to play Mab. Yes.
Love Mab. Probably hate it in this game, but I will love Mab everywhere else.
Oh, as I like to refer to her, grandmother is a delight. Pretty much take every single deadly, lethal, catty. I'm uncomfortable with how attractive you are, but also at the same time, I know that you've slain heroes for just huffing at you in the wrong way. Like little Maggie Smith. Yeah, just there's a level of cattiness and power, and also you have chosen the form of your destructor as the first rule. The first rule of all Fae is they're not human. They're children with morality and having godlike powers that play at being human.
So what I must do is play at being Fae.
Oh, you'll do that just by the powers you have. It's just Mab will make requests of you.
You know, I'm here to serve.
Okay, we have a warlock of the Winter Court. We're on board, people. We're on. There has been so much death. Oh no. I'm realizing what court is in ascendance. Oh no. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. DC, based upon this terrible information that you have now received, what are you feeling? And are you having second thoughts?
No, actually, I'm having terrible thoughts, which we'll see how this goes. I still think the druid maybe with the multi classes. I'm looking at druid ranger, all dogs all the time. But I was wondering, since the Fae are in ascendancy, or at least returning some in this, I know that the races available are sometimes they're limited to a certain extent. But if I were to say maybe have a race that's a little bit less seen, but is maybe a slave of the Winter Court assigned to their new reference.
I don't usually do anything enslaved.
Okay. That's fair. I was playing off the Furbolg history of them being slaves in their past, the old ones. They kind of moved away from that, but we'll go differently. Is a retainer, if that plays better.
My origins of Furbolg on Innistrad are much more I feel like about them the same way I feel about dryads. They're sort of just a manifestation of nature.
Okay.
And while they have dealings with the Fae, as the Fae are also tied to the seasons and to the natural order of things. Even when they drift and play their courtly intrigues, they're still at their core tied to the elements. The Furbolg are firmly a deep part of nature. Now, where they differ from D&D lore significantly is they have a tendency not to wander off. They have a tendency to, they're the hermits. Other races, not so much, but they are, because they have the places that the humans aren't allowed to tend to.
Fair.
Now, if you want to have been a part of that community, especially for your druidic initiations and teachings, oh hell yeah. Again, your druids, they have the secret handshake and the language on top of everything else.
It's a nice club.
Also, I will note, if you want something a little more tied to the Fae, there is an entire circle.
Right. I was thinking that because I've not really played a druid, trying to pick into classes I haven't focused on. I do
Circle of Dreams is, if you want to play the Utila druid, Circle of Dreams is insanely potent because they get Balm of the Summer Court, which, how would you like to have the healings and some temporary hit points with that? And then Hearth of Moonlight and Shadow. If you guys are going to be wandering about the world, if you're not staying in any one place, this saves your butts.
Yeah, we don't exactly have anyone that can patch people up right now. So maybe I'll put the doggies to bed.
Like there's Circle of Dreams, and then if you want a similar yet distinct options, there are Circle of Wildfire, which is much more offensive.
I played one of those on actually in Trip's game.
And there's also Circle of Stars, which you're tied to the calendar. There's an artifact. There's a literal artifact that controls the movement of day and night. And you're sort of a techno druid, and in that you are a guardian of this grand device that helps keep things moving in the natural order.
You know what? I think, and I just noticed a comment in chat, and yes, Lysander, Summer Court would be maximum chaos with a Winter Court representative also in the group. It would explain why I might have been sent there. So yeah, let's go. Circle of Dreams. We'll do Circle of Dreams, and I'll be from the Summer Court. Exact opposite of our friend, if that works.
Well, being the Circle of Dreams, it's interesting. You are tied to the Fae, all caps. So all seasons, but you can have a preference. Also, because the Fae love their courts, their intrigues and whatnot, they have champions. So if you want to be a Summer Court champion, we can work that in your background.
You know, that sounds like it might be fun. Trip.
I'm sure we'll get along fine.
Famously. Yes, that sounds glorious.
For all of you Dresden fans out there, we effectively have a summer night and a winter night interacting on the regular.
Oh, that's so great. Literally, Trip is Harry Dresden. And what's the new summer night? The kid. Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay. So it seems we have fairly solid concepts here. We have someone deeply tied to Kessig, its cultures, the barbarian ways, the natural order, the pumping of the heart, and the changing of things. We have two individuals tied to the political intrigues, the courts of the Fae, who are now coming forward and going, so about that reconstruction. Yeah, we want peace. And then the vampires who are currently unaware, blissfully so, of the Fae, and think that they are one of the most powerful games in town, aside from a church that has just been demolished and the werewolves. They're the ones that, at least they're in their eyes, have fared the best out of all of this. And so feel as though they're in a prime position if they can just get out of each other's way. And that is where we find ourselves. So I know the level of violence. I have an idea at the level of intrigue. And there's definitely elements of romance, courtship, assassination. There's Fae, there has to be assassinations. And we also have like the beating heart of a brewing conflict. Now, I need to get your opinion on MacGuffins and cursed items. How do you all feel about these things? Lindy, how do you feel about cursed items and artifacts?
I like them to be rare enough to make them interesting when you find them.
Okay.
But I'm not opposed to cursed items and MacGuffins at all. I have in fact created a couple of cursed. You can ask Nuggetosaurus, and about chocolate coins. They may have been laxative chocolate coin. So, I'm cool with some cursed items. Like, if everything's cursed, then it's like, oh yeah, whatever, normal stuff. So, interesting enough, like, it's like, oh, this could be cursed, but, not like, let's assume everything's cursed, like Call of Cthulhu.
With a bit of the lore setting, I will say that not everything is cursed.
Yeah.
However, the most potent things tend to be.
That checks out, yeah. That's gothic horror in a nutshell.
Yeah. So, D20, how do you feel about cursed objects and MacGuffins?
Well, MacGuffin's just fine, and who really has a need for free will?
Oh, I see.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Pilot, how do you feel about cursed objects and MacGuffins?
I'm for them. Variety is the spice of life, and those definitely add variety and spice. Maybe not life, but they add all the other things.
We're on Innistrad. Everything gives life, especially unlife.
Perfect.
Yeah.
DC, opinions on MacGuffins and cursed objects.
MacGuffin's fine. Cursed objects. I think cursed objects are great when you literally have to look like the good is so good that you're like, okay, that bad's not that bad, really. I mean, sure, I'll have to slaughter an entire village to make it work, but I mean, the good is so good. Like, I don't like cursed objects that are like, you look at it like, well, the curse is 10 times worse than anything positive you can get from it. So why would you ever even
cursed
consider
items?
It?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are fun.
So, but if you give me a good moral choice between the two, it's like, I mean, the hand effect is not that bad when you think about it.
Yeah, the hand is better than the eye, because the eye is good. Like, there's a 10% chance of you getting possessed, but the hand, though.
The hand, I mean.
Yeah.
I could make that. I could make that work. I mean, really. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. I like that to be.
That's. Thank you for vocalizing some of the things that I.
Yeah, that's
feel, but yeah.
that's what makes a good cursed item. When you just, it's hard to say no, and you have to make a choice to say no because it's so good, but it's so bad.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I those make for good character moments, I think, or the complete downfall of your character from that point
Maybe
forward,
both.
which is just as fun.
Okay. And Nugget. Feelings on cursed objects and MacGuffins.
I
Sorry.
am right there in line. Are you good?
Yeah, for your dress. I'm just. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I am 100% here for it. I'm in line with, everybody. If it gives me more angst, fucking give it to me. Like, just yes, please.
And now you get to know me. So, this is the voice I tend to use when I want to make a bargain. I will happily make each one of your characters an item. It will be useful. It comes with strings that you do not know what they are attached to. Would you like this gift?
Yes. Don't even have to think about
Absolutely.
it. Absolutely.
Lindy?
The heart wants to say yes, but the brain says don't do it. Because I've played games with you before. but yes.
I'm not Cyric. Okay.
Yes.
I was in line with Lindy on that, where the heart is like, yeah, but where it's like, hey, wait a minute, dummy.
That's me and a lot of characters, though, to be fair.
I like the fun and challenge and excitement that comes from those things, so I'm going to say yes as well.
Okay. D20, would you like a gift?
Give me 5.
He says 5.
Oh,
5
no.
of something.
Oh,
He wants 5 gifts.
I
We can work with this.
Oh
He
no!
goes all in.
I'm gonna go
That's the
so
best.
insane.
That's the best part about D20 coup de grace. You're like, how about this? And he's like, oh, I'll sign that contract without even reading it. That's cool. Yes. Yes, and double it.
Lysander, curses aren't quite Boston cream, but they exist in the same room. So, okay, it's good to know. I've got some homework. Now, we choose another form of destructor. I have a interesting relationship with Roll20. What of the horrific platforms would we like to use? There is D&D Beyond. There is the aforementioned Roll20, and there's Gods forgive me. There is the absolute terror that is Fantasy Grounds.
Oh God, no. That's this is my channel. No fantasy grounds.
Okay.
That is no. I suffered too long under the oppressive program that is fantasy grounds. No.
Okay, so we're not a fan of
Don't
Linux
ask me
here.
how I really feel.
All right. So would we like to use Beyond, since almost everything's integrated?
I love D&D Beyond for character sheets. It's super helpful for spellcasters and everything. And I'm down for using D&D Beyond dice or physical dice.
Would you like to use your shiny math rocks?
Or even if some people want to roll on D&D Beyond, some people want to roll physical dice, I'm good with whatever.
Because I am a very trusting soul. Because honestly, when things go wrong is where things go right for me. So, no, I'm perfectly fine if you want to use your shiny math rocks at home. We're doing that for Defiant, and it has been an adventure. As the dice have yet to fail, but I know my dice are going to fail, and soon. And it's going to be cataclysmic, so I am looking forward to that. And yeah, no, I am perfectly fine with the shiny math rocks. But also I am perfectly fine with using D&D Beyond, as its dice roller, at least on the D20, has this thing called variance, which is delightful. And the other dice, not quite there yet, but the D20 is good. So with that caveat in mind, I am perfectly fine with we all using D20, and then with the campaign incorporation, I can just give you things.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. D&D Beyond sounds good. Or rolling math rocks like
Yeah.
that too.
I've got no preference either. I haven't
Okay.
used the dice on D&D Beyond, but I do like how things are all tied together for
They
a
got great
person like
characters.
me. It's just, yeah, it's really easy to look at and do.
DC?
I mentioned before the stream that I'm very interested to see how a campaign run in D&D Beyond would work out. So I'm all for that. I on my Monday night games when I used to run prior to this, I let anyone use dice if they wanted to, or roll and roll 20. I was happy either way. I like math rocks, so I could use them or not. So I'm good.
Nugget?
Yeah, I'm there too. Listen, I love using my dice, but I always forget to use my dice. So I always end up using the ones online, but
Okay.
I'm fine either way.
Well, I have this thing that
Yeah.
lives at my desk.
Mhm, mhm.
And so
I'm not fidgeting with 46s right now. And have this dice bag. And then this one that Nugget gave me. And, you know.
yeah, no, the fidget thing is this thing. I adore it.
Mine
I have
broke!
adored it for you.
I was so sad. It's
Oh no.
it was like that, but now it's like that. So
Oh.
yeah.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I fully understand. Okay. So now that we've gone over a lot of the mechanics side of things, and we've gone over timeline, theme, levels, and you have a rough idea of your characters. Here's a tough question. I'm going to put to you right now. I only want a rough answer, and these answers can always change. But with this character, what is your goal? What is the story that you want to tell or would like to tell? Lindy, since you had the most fully formed of these characters.
You say that. I go, hi, ooh, vampire thing, want to be that, live that life. So I just basically chose everything that was thematic as fuck. So I guess, goal with this character, some nice vampire drama. Like, I know I'm only
Okay.
half vampire, but you know, the fam. And, you know, some interesting romance with my wonderful, lady love. And, you know, I'm sure that I don't know how vampires feel about dating fallen Asmar, but I'm sure it's sure it's not fine. So yeah, I guess just some classic gothic horror-ness, vampire, politic-y, tragic love stuff.
I have 2 films that you need to watch.
Are they scary?
Somewhat.
Oh. Aliens with the S is my limit. That's my spook.
This isn't as bad.
Okay. Whew.
It's some old anime.
Oh, I love anime. Okay. Anime's generally not as scary.
Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
I don't know if I've specifically I've either not finished Vampire Hunter D or it's been a really long time. One of the two. But yes, okay. Oh no! Anime homework.
Yes. You are playing a vampire. You are playing a half vampire.
Yeah.
I am going to pull on themes of possibly the most well-known half vampire in history. This is a promise, a threat, and a warning.
We'll pause watching Castlevania again and swap to Vampire Hunter D.
Again, I also love me some Castlevania. We are not working in the scope because of the era you chose.
Yes. I'm just obsessed with Dracula. That's all. And it's a great anime.
In here, the good news is this era, Soren, also known as Hot Daddy Vampire, will not be appearing in this story.
Yes.
However, there are plenty of other vampires that.
Oh yeah. No, and they're all hot because that's just how they work.
Yeah, Olivia's there, Anya's there. There's plenty. Now I'm going to be a bit of a chaos gremlin and just randomly choose as I see DC deep in contemplation. So,
Well, I really didn't have a plan of where I wanted to get. Just generally excited about being able to play with everyone in a group again. So that was fun. But now that I'm thinking about being a representative of the summer court, it would probably be, I would probably want, it would be more like almost political in a way, trying to progress the summer court's interests going forward in this rebuilding period to make sure that they weren't forgotten like they were in previous iterations of this wonderful realm that we call our home.
okay. So, Pilot, what are your goals for our barbarian friend?
The goal is to hopefully have the character make it out alive, but that is not on the table. He could also die.
Death is always an option. It is not always the end.
Option. I'm a simple man when it comes to that stuff. Character goals, I tend to formulate them the more I play. I have a hard time picking out a character goal from the get-go. So
That's
I can
more
just
fair.
use elements to thematically build with that and try and figure out the best thing. So
Excellent.
if you want to guide me anything or any suggestive thoughts,
Um,
all yours.
Again, most of the werewolves that are surviving are from the Keswick region. It is mountainous, unforgiving, and there are a few tribes with a few charismatic leaders.
Okay.
Currently, there is one who is trying to assemble all the tribes under one banner. Not everyone is thrilled with this, but others are very gung-ho. And there are rumors as to what goals he is trying to achieve.
Okay.
So, Are you a fan of this charismatic leader, or are you one of the holdouts? Is the question I will pose to you to think on.
Okay, I'll have to think about that because I feel like it might tie in. Yeah, there's a lot to tie in here. I'll ponder that. I have the notes written down here.
D20. Goals?
Yes. Yes. I know this is going to bite me in the ass, but my goal is to become immortal. And not like a vampire immortality or a lich immortality. I'm talking a god immortality.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man who knows nothing about magic lore just declared that he wanted to become a god. And that's the character's goal. On Innistrad. Okay. We will work with that. Nugget. Goals.
So question first. Are Damphir immortal? How do they age?
Very slowly.
Okay.
Exceptionally slow. Think proper, like, if elves age, proper elven aging. Like,
Okay.
all right, so you're looking at shuffling off this moral coil around 600, 800, give or take.
Okay. Then my character's goal, considering she is an Asimar and will not live as long as her Damphir girlfriend, is to find a way to live longer without becoming a vampire. So not quite.
On Innistrad.
Yep.
See,
I know.
aligned goals. That's
Yeah,
what I like.
aligned goals.
That's what I like.
You said it, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I was going to say.
And this is someone who is familiar with magic lore, wanting to
Yep.
extend their character's lifespan.
I have no idea. but
On
I trust
Innistrad.
her.
Yep. That's a bad idea. It'll be great.
For you Magix fans out there, yes, the brother and sister are alive and well. Yes, they're in business. Will they make an appearance? Given what everyone has said, I have strong feelings to the positive. So yeah, that is the thing that happened. Okay. Because of stated goals, we are going to do something to start you getting accustomed to things. This is the happy sad die. Happy sad die is my guiding star when I have questions that desperately need answers that you don't have the question for. I just roll it, I tell you the result, and then things happen. And so we're going to roll the happy sad die. Well, it's happy, and so I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
So, yes, Magic fans, there's currently certain things going on in Magic lore, as a certain pharaoh we both know and love is busy. But word on the street is there's someone that wants to become a god and has already made a deal with dark and terrible powers. And fortunately, The large, mind-rending, body-altering spaghetti monster is locked in the moon.
Oh, good. Thanks, Moon.
I need to get her out.
No.
Oh, okay.
It is rumored she deliberately had herself placed there. We don't know why.
Okay.
We just know that when she went away, so did the spaghettifying of most entities.
I didn't know.
And that's a good thing. But there is someone who wants to become a god, who's made dealings with dark and terrible powers. And we have someone who is looking to extend their lifespan for love, no less.
Isn't love great?
I just don't want to.
It's simply the best. Oh, right. No, I misremembered something. Right. I know where Soren is. Just keep that over there.
Is he in the wall?
The greatest flavor text on any magic card in history is I see you've got out of the wall.
Yeah, the YouTube video I watched mentioned something about that.
Yeah. So the majority of planeswalkers are gone. I chose those words very specifically. Sigarda is doing her best at this moment with her knights and the few angels that still exist in her order to protect humanity as best they can from the predations of both the werewolves, the zombies, the vampires, and trying as best to keep the peace. The vampire houses are currently consolidating power locally, but will soon, well, soon for them, be moving to fill in those gaps beyond their local borders once they have secured the homestead. Markov Manor is in disarray,
Putting it
and I
lightly.
believe it's still floating. Hard to get to. Gavany is a wreck, but people are already rebuilding. Saying that the Drown Yard is a special place is an understatement. But Nephalia, even though facing possibly the brunt of Emrakul's emanations, still has a population. They're still fishing. The good news is the fish are coming back less weird. However, those that ply their trade of necromancy are still easily found along its shores. Stensia. It is recovering. It is one of the few places that also has a good, solid werewolf population that survived. Though the number of packs in the Sumberwald have been decimated. And I use that word specifically. The Ashmouth is a place that still few go to, and fewer still return from. There are still things that slumber there. There are still creatures that do not get along with humanity there. And they want to be left alone. But there is great treasure that lies in those mountains. and eventually someone will call common. And there are still cults dedicated to the darker powers, where that is worship now of a strange moon, or of names that should have long been stricken and forgotten. But now there are no inquisitors to be purging those names with fire and brand. And so the old cults come climbing back to take their places in the shadows and to court with those who have a desperate need of something or anything. And the Fae, long holding into those natural places, tied to the magics that this plane's master weaved, now finds that that individual is no longer in play. The board has been reset. And now is the time of ascension. Now is the time of sowing, as humanity is ripe to be guided. And that is where we will find ourselves in Innistrad, Fang, and Shadow. Before we head off, as a good Session Zero is wont to do, this is an opportunity to ask your storyteller any and all questions, concerns you have.
I am concerned. I just wanted to state that.
More than fair.
Valid.
Feeling is mutual, but it's excited.
Very good.
I'm excited. I'm just hype.
I'm also very excited. I don't think any questions come to mind at this moment, though. Nothing I can think of.
My only question,
No.
I guess, is character creation related. Rolling for stats, point by, standard array.
Good question.
Ah, that hoary chestnut.
Yeah,
I will give you all
it had
a
to be
choice.
asked at some point.
Oh, I understand. I give you all a choice because of the difficulty that you chose. I have my own personal array.
Ooh.
However, it means I feel no guilt. That array is 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Would you like to play a game?
I thought that's the whole point.
I just warn you, I will feel no guilt.
No guilt.
I think I'm screwed either way. I say go for it.
I'm with
Some
you.
people like to roll. Some people still, as I offer this, like to roll.
Yeah, yeah.
Like rolling, but you know.
I've rolled some good stats in my lifetime, but rarely that good.
The only drawback to that stat block and the pain that comes with it is you lose that opportunity for that one really ridiculously low stat that kind of defines your character.
Oh, trust me. the dice will still betray you, and I will still be there.
Me more so than most, I believe. So I'm good either way. Whatever everyone else wants to choose, I'm good. We all want to go with the same thing.
Oh, I hit my funny.
That may have been a cosmic warning. Ignore it. So that sounds like a yes.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll roll any better, and
I
I'd
don't
hate
think
for
I
you to
would
feel
either.
guilt.
Fair. We are going into this guilt light, or guilt free. All right.
I like free stuff. How about free guilt?
Free guilt.
Now we're playing Changeling. Okay. Also, because as befits your level, on top of my gift, or in the case of coup de grace, gifts, plural.
I am
You,
screwed.
you get the following. Find the Gothic trinkets chart.
Oh, I love that chart from Curse of Strahd. It's so good. Yes, sorry. Can you carry on?
Roll on it. Take what you get.
And then let you know, I assume.
Yes. Do let me know, and do put that on your sheet.
Wait, is that what we're all getting?
You
It's a
all
roll.
get a Gothic trinket.
My favorite rollable chart. And like,
You also get a common, uncommon, magic item.
is that common / uncommon, or one common, one uncommon?
One common and one uncommon.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Fine.
So you all get one of those. Do put those on your sheet. Do let me know about them. Because everything has a story, especially on Innistrad. And last bit, especially for all of you there for our session 0, is a game I like to play because you're all storytellers, all good storytellers, and this is a collaboration. And so I want you to each give me either an item, a place, or an individual that will populate our world before we do outros. As I pull up my notes. So, Lindy, person, place, or object?
Person, place, or object. All three are so much fun. But I think I'm gonna have to choose place, because places can just be so interesting.
Okay. What is this place?
I think this place... Ooh. I think this place is not very well known. I think this place is what some of the locals in the area might call a best kept secret. Or, you know, a place that they avoid. Who knows? Depends on the person you ask, probably. I'm thinking something classic Gothic horror, an abandoned manor.
Abandoned manor.
Yeah.
In this age. Okay.
I know there's a lot of them, but you know, the scenery is just gorgeous. Great views.
Okay. Does the manor have a name?
Ooh, That it should. It should have a name. Something interesting.
Now, I was just making a point. I was thinking the same thing, except I was going to tie it into all the rest of our worlds, like we have. I was going to say maybe the
Ooh,
Mistfarers.
The
The
Mistfarers
Mistfarers
Manor?
Mariner.
Just yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. Even if just in name only.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Mistfarers Manor.
It was kind of like a connect a
Had
transdimensional
doors
kind of
that opened
yeah.
to
It had
places.
doors that opened into other realms. It actually the back garden opened into the Fey realm. In this particular location, it doesn't need to be the same thing, but it was a fun
Yeah.
little thing that pops up in our games from time to time.
Yep.
So maybe this is when the Mistfarer Manor came into existence,
Maybe.
or it's just been that long it's fallen into disrepair.
Disarray, that would not surprise me either.
Okay. Taken.
Yeah,
Co-opted.
Mistfarers Manor.
Recorder.
Yeah. It had certain doors open to certain places. It's abandoned.
Okay. It's not entirely abandoned. It's just mostly abandoned.
Lovely.
All right. So who would like to give us our next entry? All right, Pilot.
I'll go for it. Something that kind of popped into my head for this one is just out of thought was an object
Okay.
that is terrifying, absolutely terrifying object.
Go on.
I'm still formulating thoughts that go with that because that could go a lot of directions, especially based on your guys' background.
And terrifying to
experience.
who?
Terrifying to most people. Who those most people can be, that's broad, so you can have that as to how you want. Some people are not terrified of it. Could be a legit terrifying item or something that's suspected to be terrifying, but people don't know. I don't know. Something like that was kind of tickling my brain.
I will ask this question. Is it terrifying because of what is contained therein or what it can do?
What it can do.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a sucker for that. Maybe it's trophy, but I like it.
Okay.
Objects of power.
Is this a weapon?
It doesn't have to be directly. Could just be an item. Could be an innate item in some ways, but people know you don't mess with it. I kind of imagine it kind of like, I don't know, not as an item, but in the sense of the force behind it. It has the same fear associated with it as like, I don't know, some sort of like Ebola virus type thing. That's something that everybody immediately goes, ew, when they hear about it. That type of reflexive action, that type of reaction to it. I don't know what that could be though.
I think I have an idea. So, there's an object in Magic's history called Ghoul Caller's Bell. It's not that terrifying, but it allows one to call upon spirits to raise the dead.
Okay.
However, what I am thinking of is something that goes slightly awry with it.
Ooh, I like that already.
I'm thinking of a door knocker. We're dealing with Gothic horror. Let's use one of its great tropes. Let's go maybe a little bit later than that. Let's go to Dickensian. This knocker, when applied to a door and used in the proper fashion, can curse all the residents therein. The curse manifests uniquely depending upon which house it is attached to, but it all ends poorly.
I like that. I like that.
Okay. Also, it has some terrible price to be used, but no one necessarily knows what that terrible price is for using it.
Got to get the good with the bad. You can't just let the people inside be cursed. The one who uses it has to have some misfortune.
Who's next?
Well, I had an idea.
Okay.
I need a person, a trusted confidant who wants the same goals I do. So I want an imaginary friend. Without my imagination, he dies also.
How imaginary is he?
I'll leave that up to you.
Okay. So, Magic fans, I need to confess something. Everyone has their favorite planeswalker. Mine's Ashiok. So yeah, we just keep getting gifts today. And so that's a thing. Cool. Do you see this imaginary friend, or is it just sort of like a voice?
Well, I assumed it was someone that at least I could see.
Okay.
Or it could be a voice. I'm not down in stone on anything on that. Just my trusted confidant.
I think in your waking hours, you just hear them.
Okay. All right.
But when you sleep, sometimes you can see them.
Don't like how Nugget's shaking her head.
That sounds good. I like it.
Okay. I just love the person that knows absolutely no magic lore is just getting all this magic lore.
Sounds about right.
Okay. DC Nugget, which one of you are next?
I'll go next. So there's this dagger.
Okay.
Unassuming, plain, but perfectly balanced. The only people who can see it are the people who can hear the tune.
Okay.
I don't know what the tune sounds like. I imagine it's some kind of like eerily familiar humming.
Do you want
Like
humming or do you want a music box?
I don't know. I will leave that to you because I like
Okay.
the idea of it being humming, so they could be like, I think I know who that sounds like. But I also really like the idea of a music box.
It's so classic Gothic
So
horror.
yeah. So I will leave that up to you.
I'd like the no. Let's why not both? Let's
Okay,
have it be like the tunes the same. How it is heard differs upon individual.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
So for some, it's humming. Others, it's a music box. For others, still, it's like an operatic aria.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's great.
Anything else about our dagger?
No, I think that's it. It's just it's very plain, but perfectly balanced, obviously well made. Not everyone can see it. Just the people who can hear the tune, and whoever hears it hears a different tune. I don't know what it does.
Well, I mean, it's invisible unless you can hear the
Right,
song.
exactly.
So that in and of itself is very useful.
Yeah.
I got one more question.
Mhm.
Does the song ever stop once you hear it?
No.
Cool.
It's the soundtrack to your life then.
You will go insane hearing this song.
Cool. DC, what gift do you have for me?
Well, I've been all over the chart on this one. Being the last one to go should be a boon, but so far it's been a curse. As I hear everyone else going with these wonderful things, I'm happy to see the Misfarers maybe appearing. I thought about another place somewhat, but I've also thought about a person, and I think I will go with a person.
Okay.
This is a wise, aged man who has a bit of a smirk and a glimmer in his eye, almost a Gaunter O'Dim kind of character, but not quite. Helps as much as he hurts, because in his travels, or her travels, whoever it might be, I think it's going to be him. No, it's him. In their travels, they've strayed well far from their training. In a past life, they served others and were always capable of finding the necessary item that this person needs at the drop of a hat, or be able to accomplish the goals that this person set to them. But now that they found themselves here, they've strayed from that, and they cause as much trouble as they solve. And this wise old being, whoever it might be, has a name. And there are many of that type by that name, but there is only one in this world who bears the name of Chauncey. He's a twisted Chauncey, but a Chauncey nonetheless.
Not a twisted Chauncey.
Yes, a twisted Chauncey. Somewhat of an agent of chaos at the behest of the keeper, who can help or hurt as needs be, and appears out of almost nowhere when least expected.
Chauncey.
I know. Our first corrupted Chauncey, possibly.
Thus, a new evil was unleashed upon the world.
I can only hope.
Hey, Magic fans. A unseen agent of chaos on Innistrad.
Not so much unseen.
Well,
He's there.
he's there, but this is Innistrad, the realm of shadows. This is Innistrad, a place that Liliana traveled to and thought was a homestead until, well, she met him. Now he doesn't leave her alone. He implored that when Jace came upon her in the manor, that she kill him. That she kill the mind mage right there, right then. But somehow she had pity and still a bit of love for that forsaken dog of a planeswalker who should know better but never does. And they have given me another of him. Another Raven Man. Okay. So, with that, folks, I hope you have had as much fun as I have. Tonight was an absolute delight. I now have so much to work with. There are many directions, threads. I am super, super excited. And I hope all of you watching out there will join us on this journey as these people who have no idea what is going to be inflicted upon them.
Nope.
Now, with all of this rich and delightful stuff, a warning. Now that I have this and I have an idea, unless you take certain courses of action, combat will be rare. But it will often take those two forms that we said.
Mm-hmm.
Either you will be big damn heroes, or I will have no guilt. And I am thrilled with the level of politics, curiosity, maybe a few mysteries, since we now have imaginary friends, raven men, daggers that are invisible unless you hear the tune that doesn't stop, a door knocker that, if properly applied and used at a cost, can curse an entire household, and a manor tied to many places, many places now abandoned. So please go on this journey with us all, as I have been given gifts, and I have a feeling will keep being given gifts. And I will endeavor, like so many of you who are currently watching, to use every gift given. And so, as I constantly say, I beg, steal, and borrow. And community, I have begged, steal, and borrowed from you all. Hi, Wally. Hi, Jim. Hi, Prax. Hi, Hawk. We're going for a ride. Hi, Lysander. We're going to go on a ride together, and I am going to hurt them. I am going to hurt them all. And I want you to see it. So on that note, I am Pope World Bill on Twitter, Pope World Bill on Twitch. I lurk in all your screams. And if you want to see more of my ridiculous face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. Coming up next is at 2 p.m. Eastern over on Follow Black Cats. You get to see another group of people hurt me as we play our disaster spies in the spy game Hexcrawl over on Follow Black Cats. The op was supposed to be a quiet one.
It always is supposed to be quiet. Never ends that way.
That was the plan. That was the stated goal. And now we have to run from the entire Royal Navy and somehow escape the Cayman Islands with our lives. So if you want to see that, tune in Wednesday. Thursday, you can see me torment an entirely different group of people over at Critical Misses at 8 p.m. Eastern for Masks Advanced Studies. The Nova decided to play with cosmic power and dimensional portals, and now the majority of them are stranded in Avalon. Their arch nemesis has been seduced by Queen Titania. Oh, look, another Fae. And that can only go well. So if you want to see that sort of university-aged, superpowered disaster, please tune in. And then Saturday, regularly Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern over on Veladrian's channel, I get to play a reformed devil in the apocalypse and Defiant, the Trail of the Dead. I don't know why no one else in the city is dealing with the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse and trying to stop that from happening, but apparently it's only this tiny group that has any sort of grasp on keeping the city alive, and I hate it. So if you want to see that torment, tune in. Also, I want to plug something. I'm part of every other Saturday. This Saturday, I won't be on, but I will be in chat as Mechton returns to Praxagorath Thesbophoria's channel. Starblade Battalion Seeds is the part one I'm a part of. Apparently, there's an entirely different group with an entirely different perspective. I have so many questions, and I look to see them answered. I believe that is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, or at least it is for art. Oh, it's 8. It's 8 for y'all. Well, it's 4:30 p.m. Eastern for us. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern for them. So I'll catch that right before going live with Defiant. And I'm definitely going to be watching the VOD religiously. So come and join us there for some emotions and daggers in space. Prax got challenged and she's using all of them. I am in pain. It's delightful. And then on Sundays, we're coming to the close of something completely different and absolutely delightful with Pugmire, What Lies Buried. Our good doggos have been through hell, and now they're going into what may be the most dire threat dogkind has ever faced. So, if you want to see some Redwall-inspired heroics and something family-friendly with levels that do not lie to us, because Pugmire only goes to level 10, please come on by for Pugmire What Lies Buried. It's a delightful time. And then be back here Monday night, 9 p.m. for more of this, as we will see our delightful heroes, question mark, travelers, characters, victims, accomplices in more of Innistrad, Fang, and Shadow. Thank you all so much for being here. Story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. And take care of yourselves. And I hope to see you all very soon.
Wonderful. The rest of us, I'll give everyone else a little thing if they want to say something. Nugget, I'm going to pick on you because I have to do myself last, and you're opposite me on the overlay, so we can look wistfully over at the walls, but make it look like we're looking at each other across, like two lovers just separated by the game master.
I love it.
Who are you? How are you? And what are you most looking forward to?
I am Nuggetosaurus. You can find me here on Mondays, Tuesdays, and the occasional Saturdays when we play Aliens. What were the other questions?
How are you, and what are you most looking forward to?
I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be playing again. And we took a little bit of a break, but I'm ready to get back into it, start a new character, see how that goes. I'm nervous, but very excited. So that's, good. And I'm looking forward to giving Pope all my knives.
Great. That's a great thing to look forward to. How about you, Deception Check?
Wow, we are really thrown around. I'm not used to going so early in the
Look,
conversation.
this is how I'm going to be introducing us every week.
All right. I have to get used to this.
Well, actually,
Yeah,
no,
Monday
it'll be
nights I'm
me.
normally like
Trip. I'm just
last.
going reverse order.
Okay, well, it's all good. Yeah, hi, I'm a Deception Check. You can find me here on Monday nights now. Again, we'll be having a great time here for quite a while. Can't wait. I don't have to run the game for once, and so it's nice on Mondays for me now. Tuesdays, Vampire Vegas. It's great. We're torturing our good friend Travis, and it's what you do for friends in games like this. It's a lot of fun. And Saturdays for our occasional alien game. We were supposed to have one recently, but life got in the way. We'll be having another one soon. If you like space and intrigue and just a bunch of misfits trying to figure out a way how not to end up with chest bursters, that's what we do. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. And other things, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this game. I cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute blast. I love that I'm going to be at odds with Trip's character now. I cannot wait. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then I have to figure out what I think about the rest of you people. So I hope you plan on furthering the cause of the Fae, because if not, well, it was nice knowing you.
Here. Well, this will be interesting. Shiny Pilot, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited for this. So, can we start? Yeah, it's probably a little late for that. Still got some character building to do, but I'm very excited and happy to be doing this. I'm just Shiny Pilot 206. Find me here on Lindy's channel Mondays, Tuesdays, and when we do aliens. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Just look forward to having fun. So, thanks everybody.
Wonderful. That is a good thing to look forward to. We like fun here. Someone who loves fun. D20 coup de grace.
I'm not scared. Yeah, that's me. I'm D20 coup de grace. You can find me here Mondays, Tuesdays, and in our aliens game on Saturday. I just question, how many masters can one serve before it becomes too many?
Ask Liliana Vess how many demons she sold her soul to.
All right.
It seems to be 7. I think the answer is... I took notes off someone else in the class. I was like, oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. I love y'all. Hi, I'm Lindy. You can find me here online at Laugh Love Lindy, where we play games and we have fun. Next week, we start with this game. I'm very excited to meet everyone's characters. That is what I'm most looking forward to. I am most looking forward to the absolute train wrecks that each and every one of us is going to be. That's what I can't wait to meet them all. I can't wait. And it's just going to be amazing. But you can also find us here tomorrow, where I have curated a personal hell for Travis's character because he thought I wasn't paying attention to his character backstory that he just dropped sporadically through word vomit along the course of our 3-year campaign. But I was listening. and they might try to steal the hand of the mayor of the town, who's a vampire. It may or may not be the hand of Vecna. I can neither confirm nor deny. And also escape the town with his daughter, who's a 260-year-old vampire girl trapped in a body of a 9-year-old. It'll be great. So tune in for that if you like fun things and pain. Yeah, it'll be awesome. And then, of course, our next Aliens game we actually have on the calendar, it will be the 23rd of this month. So, not this Saturday, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after. We'll finally get to our Aliens game, and it's gonna be really good. So, thank you all so much. Until next time, have fun and play games. Catch you later.